We smuggled the Bibles several times. I don't remember exactly. Maybe 3 or 5 times. Fast. They do it very fast. And they're gone. The Smugglers, a radio documentary by Henrik Dedo and Jan Obrębowski. It was 1973, I think.
There was a foundation helping people in behind the Iron Curtain. It was the aim to support people with Bible, to bring as much as possible books.
My brother sold his factory, and he said, "You can ask what you need, how much money you need, 100,000 guilders and so on." And it was possible.
There was a telephone from Dirk. Dirk was a man, we didn't know him. He only asked us, "Please, do you want to go on holiday to Texel?" We were surprised. What does it mean? Why should we go to Texel?
I was for the first in 77 in Soviet Union, Hungary, Romania, Poland and DDR.
I remember how this car smelt. Its smell was different. It was the smell of the Western world.
And because they told us, everybody where we came, we need Bibles. Big lorry with Bibles, it is not enough.
After that, he visited us at home, and then he told us that Texel means Czechoslovakia. You see, that is the language of the telephone, because it's a secret work. Then he explained everything to us. Well, yeah, we get your name from, yes, my father. Do you want to smuggle Bibles? And we said yes.
And then we have made a store in Delft. Nobody knew where it was. Also, I'm president of the foundation. I must know where. I said, no, nobody can come here. All is forbidden.
There were 5 technical teams. One team was technical preparation of the cars. Another team did all the work with the books. Bought the books and stored the books and put them in the system.
Die loods die was dus van mij.
We prepared the Bibles for the transports. We had to pack them and hide them in the cars. Others were looking for contacts behind the Iron Curtain. Then the transport would go.
Dat moest natuurlijk allemaal in het geheim gebeuren.
And there was another team that looked for people like we who were willing or who could drive the car to Eastern Europe.
We hebben eerst een reis gemaakt.
We went to Hungary with a youth group, and we got in touch with people from Eastern Europe. Later, we were asked to bring them the Bibles, so we smuggled them for the first time.
Met de mensen daar.
But there were another team, the 4th team, that was driving in wintertime to people in Eastern Europe with normal cars to make all the appointments for the summer period. So I think altogether hundreds of people were at the end involved in this special program. Now we know that there are so many teams, but at that time you didn't know names, you was not aware where are the teams working, was not known where the garage was to prepare the cars, you was not known where the books were.
There was all kinds of Bibles, Ukraine, Hungary, Slovak, and so on, all countries, and also Polish, and that was a long time so.
Only my parents knew about these activities. No one else in the family was aware what we were doing. We said we go to Germany for a holiday, so all was protected and all was underground work.
En na 2 jaar zijn
For
we
the
dus,
first 3
gevraagd om
years,
ook een
we smuggled the
bijroltransport te
Bibles
doen.
in cars belonging to another organization. Then, we invented our own system.
And also there was a special team that looked very carefully about the borders. So there was a long list, which is a safe border and which border is too tricky and you could not pass.
There were many dangerous situations. Once, the customs officers almost found the Bibles, but it seemed they were blind to them. They were looking in the places where they were hidden, but found nothing. Unfortunately, on another occasion, they found the smuggled books. We had to pay a lot of money and go back home. These Bibles were lost, of course.
Meestal gebeurde dat niet.
We could not use this car again. It was sold.
Daarna hebben we nog een aantal jaren.
I had been smuggling Bibles for 3 years. Then I started to adjust the cars for this purpose. I was a car mechanic. Those who worked with the cars did not smuggle the Bibles themselves because they knew all the technical details. If such a person was caught on the border, it would jeopardize the entire mission.
Van alle auto's wist ik de systemen, dus dat zou gevaarlijk zijn.
The most exciting moment for me, that was the moment that Frans lost his keys. Did he tell you that?
And that happened actually in Bulgaria when we were close to the Black Sea. And we need to wait 2 days, and then okay, we go to a camping. We were standing on a camping place and went to the water, to the beach, and were swimming a little bit. And then I lost the key of the car. But people in the Netherlands said, if there is a problem with your key of the car, then take away on the backside of the car the lamps. You can take away the red cover. And behind that cover there is a plastic bag and there is a new key.
Ja, dat is, iedere auto moest weer anders zijn.
The cars were prepared for the mission according to the type of construction. We made a double roof or a double underbody.
We hebben een elektrisch systeem ontwikkeld waarbij
we made such an electrical system that if the door was open, the electric circuit was broken. So, on the border, one had to make sure the door was open so that the guards would not find the books.
Het systeem opengaan op wat voor manier.
So that is an example that people in the Netherlands really took care of this car and helped you a lot with.
These vans had double walls. The space between them was filled with Bibles, a lot of them.
It was only an address?
Often it was paper with the streets, and that was prima, but we could not take it with us. We must do it in our head.
You were driving 5,000 kilometers to a place?
They wouldn't come straight here. They left the car somewhere else and came to check everything first.
And we were not aware what kind of people.
A man came who spoke English. We did not speak a word of English then. Somehow he managed to communicate with my dad and showed him some Bibles. It is night, 12 or 1 a.m. Someone is knocking at the door. Who is it? I ask. Bibel, Bibel. If it is Bible, then it's all right. I open the door. Half an hour later, they came by car.
You have to drop off all the books.
Fast. They do it very fast.
In 5 minutes maximum, and then you need to go back as fast as possible.
And they're gone.
And that was all.
There was clutter as per normal in the attic. Give me this bag. They were packed in plastic bags, like the disposal bags we use now. The amount of Bibles that were smuggled in one go depended on the type of car. Usually, we would smuggle from 500 to 1,000 Bibles.
Worków tam było mnóstwo, nie wiem jak oni mieli to pochowane.
Yeah, there were 3 places in the car that was possible to protect 120 or 150 kilo of books. So it was behind the kitchen, it was somewhere in one of the fuel tanks, and there was a refrigerator in the car. And although it was additional weight in the car, the suspension was adapted and the tires were adapted. So when you looked to the car, you couldn't see that there were heavy load in it. I always was very carefully not exceeding the maximum speed in order to avoid police attention or that police was looking to you. So I was driving very carefully. And if needed, you could drive very fast, even much faster than police cars at that time. These police cars were always Lada or Skoda at all times. Maximum speed 100 and my speed was 140. So, but I have never used it.
Ja, dat is waar. Maar we hebben vaak
We always stopped at the campground. When entering a foreign country, you had to state the aim of the journey. So we would say we were tourists.
Dat we dan, 's'nachts.
It was quite dangerous to use the European minivans at that time, because the customs, they knew the structure and they know where it is possible to protect the books or not. And the philosophy from our foundation was, let's take a very expensive United States car. That car is unknown from the customs, and also was interesting that this car was that expensive that they have not touched the car. The European types, they took out the panels, the roof panels and so on, to try to find the books. But this car was that expensive, they were afraid to touch the car and damage the car. And that works quite well. This was a holiday car. This was a motorhome, so to say. That was the best driving as a tourist. A father and a mother and some kids. And then sometimes they put questions, have you books or have you weapons? But I said, no, we are tourists. We have 2 kids and we are only going to campings and we are going to visit Black Sea and so on. So this was actually the best protection to do this type of work. The most dangerous moment were, of course, passing the borders.
I remember it was very frightening. They told us, don't look at the man. Ignore them. Because when you looked at them, they are looking at you. And then there will be problems, maybe. So we didn't look to the man. And then when we came at the border, went through 2 children in the first time. I was a little bit nervous, of course, and I said, okay, I take some apples and a knife, and I go and give my children so I can look down. It's a natural way to look down when you are. So, that was my way.
Yeah, we were always driving very slowly to the border, and it was always the best to find a car, a minivan with a lot of luggage and stuff, and then park your car behind, because the customs were very busy and very occupied to take away all this rubbish and things from that car, and then it was easier that you could speed up and passing the border much easier. So it was a matter of looking and find the right place. And that was always successful.
Well, I remember once we came out East Berlin and we had to go to the west. And then we had to wait
And there was ladies, customs. They were checking Western Germany cars very carefully. They took all the luggage out and were talking with people for 1-2 hours. And we were very afraid about these ladies. The ladies were more dangerous than actually the soldiers.
There was an old couple, and they had to put everything out. Everything there was in a little car. There was a toilet bag, and they put it out, and there was toothpaste, and they make it open. Is it really toothpaste? Yes, it was.
This lady came to us and said, stop the car, go out from the car. And then my wife opened the door.
And then, it was dark inside.
And our small kids were playing a lot make a lot of noise.
Hooray, hooray, there's light. And they were all laughing. And then the lady, you could see she had a problem because she likes that. But yes, it was her work, so she could not smile. But a little smile. Oh yes, it was very nice. And then she said, the other door, please. Or in another language, I don't know.
Okay, you can pass and go home.
So we were saved, not by the bell, but by the children.
And the really most dangerous problem was opening the system. So a couple of hours before the dropping, we opened the systems and then we put all the books in plastic bags. And these plastic bags were under our banks and in the backside of the car, but not in the system. So that was the most dangerous. If then the police came passing your car and stopped you and checked the car, then they could see all the books. So we tried to figure out on the day more or less where should be the dropping place. And then we went out of the city, a quiet place outside a city or a village, where behind some trees, and we protect the car a little bit, and then we're doing this.
There was always in a wood or in a land or very quiet place. And then Frans had to put all the Bibles out, and then in bags, plastic bags.
We played a lot with the kids and used a lot of toys for the kids. So when police could come, then we say, okay, we have problem with the car, and we are playing with the kids, but we don't need your help, and blah, blah, blah.
And then you have to go to the address.
Of course, many times we were afraid. God is helped and praying a lot, and we knew about the danger.
Sometimes it was very difficult to find a good address, and that was very dangerous for us and for the people to whom.
In Slovenia, we tried to find the address of the pastor where we should drop our books, but there was a mistake in the program, so we found the address, but no one was at home.
So we went back to our camping, and the day after, but she was still not home. The third day, again, but she wasn't home. So then we had a problem.
And then we had to phone to the Netherlands in a special code language.
And they gave us a new contact. But it was very difficult. They said, you have to pick up your ABC and then take the third, and then take the fifth, and then take the first, and so it was a very long telephone, but no problem.
The third night we went to a new address, and there we said to the pastor, here we are from the Netherlands, and we have some books for you, but we leave in 5 or 10 minutes time. But the pastor said, don't be afraid, park your car, I prepare a dinner, etc., etc. That was a little bit a struggle, and we said, is that not dangerous for you? He said, no, it is not dangerous, and it was 1 o'clock in the night, and he switched on the lamp in his garden, and everybody could see the car, so I said to him, take away the lamp, and we need darkness to take out the system, and so on. But this pastor was not afraid and said, oh, no dangers, no problem. But we were straight and said, we need to protect the car. Maybe you are not afraid, but we have this responsibility to protect the car for ongoing activities. So we switched off the lamp and took out the books, and in 10 minutes we left.
To było też ryzykowne, bo
It was risky. If anybody noticed them, they would be followed to our place and the police would come. Now I see we risked a lot too.
Perspektywy teraz. Więcej myśmy ryzykowali.
We would bring the books to a certain flat, but the secret police found out about it. The people who received the books were in deep trouble. They were interrogated and imprisoned. That's why we decided not to visit anyone at home. We would arrange an exchange of the Bibles, which lasted a few minutes only, in a forest or other remote place.
And the pastor couldn't understand, but that was a rule. Always protect the books, an expensive system, and protect your kids, of course, and protect the system and the car, and that need to be used the whole year. Once we went to Poland. I think it was 1985 or 1986.
I cannot not say the word, but because it was Promysl. I don't know.
Name of the town? Eh?
Yes, by the sea. I remember it was a very long trip. The ways and the houses were very grau. The people were not laughing. They were sad. You can't see it on the faces. There was a lot of Roman Catholic churches.
And I remember one church, there was so many people attending the church that they were standing outside the church. There were speakers, and I never forget that this happened in that time.
And then in the evening we brought the Bibles, of course, and they said, 3 little children, you have to come inside. Quick, 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 very quick.
Ja też pamiętam, jak byłam małym dzieckiem, taką akcję, kiedy
I remember one story.
spałyśmy z siostrą
I was a
razem
child
na
then.
wersalce.
Me and my sister were sleeping on a couch. We woke because of the noise. Something was going on. Mom was somewhat annoyed. She ordered us to turn toward the wall and sleep. But how can one fall asleep when something interesting is going on? People were coming and going quickly. They were tossing the books from the suitcases in the middle of the room. It happened several times. Half of the floor was covered with books, and then everything went quiet.
They knew already they would come, so we had a lot of presents. I have them. Oh, was kralen gewoon van die.
Koralen.
Yeah, here this koralen. A lot of them, and they, please take it with you. So it was marvelous, wonderful.
We wanted to take them in, but they said they can't stay. They had to go back.
It was a pity that we couldn't speak to people. That was the only thing. It was dropping the books in 5 or 10 minutes and then going back to the West.
Then we would notify other believers to come and take the Bibles. They would go to different towns.
The customs, they always said, do you have weapons? Do you have pornography? Do you have Bibles? In their thinking, weapons and Bible is the same dangerous stuff for people. But a Bible is quite different from weapons. So therefore, many people said, when there was a question, do you have Bibles? No, I don't have Bibles.
Every year came the same telephone. Hello, Miss Dirk, want you to go too? Oh, please, really? Really, do we have to go again? Yes, okay. No, then we go, of course.
We were not smuggling weapons or stupid things. We were smuggling. We were bringing in Bibles that people need.
When I have to do it today, I will do it today, of course. Yes, no problem.